Okay, so today I want to talk about some trades from the 26th here a couple of days ago. We overall have been, I would say, selling off the bonds in general, and I was still participating to the short side on these products. And overnight wise, we have been going up, and when I came in around the open in the Europe session, was watching the bonds here and the German one, Bund Bubble, the shots too, and I was actually thinking that I would participate to the short side too. You can see here we got a lot of how to say, printing down. People want to sell those levels, and the reason I don't jump on board on these tops is because maybe it tends to be that it's just long coverings having stops under these level when they have been buying the product. And the reason I wait is to get some. I want to see both a aggressive buyer and an aggressive seller sitting and battling between a price level that I can react to. So basically, let's start the video here. As we can see, I was looking to the short side here. There you can see that was the first mark I got where I wanted to participate in order to short this product. We got a nice print down, which was 2 times the size that we have seen here, and the evens up here, and the 70 area here. That was around 1,000, and I actually put it in a limit order because I wanted to get filled at exactly the 60 area. I was pretty sure I wouldn't get a fill up at the 65 as when they're trying to, how to say, blow out these bottoms where a lot of liquidity is sitting down here ready to buy it. It snaps fast, and those are the momentum runs I want to be in on. So what I was looking at was that if they could lift the 65 up here with some heavy volume, I would wait, but that was only 500 back printing, as I just remember. But anyway, I have a short order sitting here. I was not really sure whether I would get a fill. If it was going down to the 55s and the halves here, I would have exited or cancelled that limit order I had sitting here. See, it begins to, the bidders are still here, but they begin to leave the table a bit. Not much going on right now. The thing I don't want to see is the offer here pull off if they remove those 2Ks here and they begin to subtract heavy amounts of contract here. I would try to get out here in a break even, or maybe take a 1 tick loss. So still, it's I'd say it's during the summertime here. It's very slow in general. Every market moves a bit funky at the moment, and there's some good reason behind that. The summertime, the only, how to say, small people like myself trying to make some coins here and there. Still, I'm not nervous yet. The offer is still holding up here. They are selling into a guy, absorbing them. And the reason I put my stop here at 85 is, I think it's 85, is because it can be a bit spiky sometimes, as the bonds during the Euro session is following the German ones, and it's I think it's mostly algo based how they trade it, but I'm not sure whether there's some guy sitting behind the screen or it's only computerized. But anyway, I'm still confident this one, haven't closed it yet. Even though you see the 30 over here begins to go up a bit. If I see some heavy buying here over in the 5-year, I would be a bit concerned too. Yeah, and these times are pretty much, yeah, we see we got some prints down again. That's nice. I would like to see the offer build up heavily here. What I like here is that we saw 3,000, 5,000 sitting on the offer here, and not unfortunately, but it doesn't go a bit again. And if it did, I would like to see those 5K absorb a heavy amount of contracts. But again, it's spoofed all the time, so you can't be sure. You just have to kind of go what you see in the moment, and not anticipate someone is going to sell it or buy it in a specific area. You need to see the prints. You need to see some size building up around a level of 2 prices, or in an area of maybe 3 prices here in the 10-year. So now we see someone covering a bit here. There's really not, I would say, real momentum to the downside. It's very, it's really in lack of how to say, directional bias. Still, I'm biased to the short side at that day, and but of course not yesterday. I made a scalp there too. I've shown another video. It was really an awkward day in my terms of playing the game, but yeah, I will come back to that later. Anyway, we still have some selling going on, and I am still in the game here. I'm not seeing anyone covering another 1000k here. On a 1000k, 1000 lots. And if I was seeing that, I would, yeah, maybe exit it for 1 tick winner, maybe 2. See, we got 800 backprint up to 45s. We didn't have any real supporting that area in terms of bidding the price up. So I'm still waiting to see if we can clear the 40 area down here. Again, the offering isn't pretty hard, so I was, yeah, it's slow. These times are slow, and you just need to ride it out for whatever it's worth. Yeah, I have a how to say, I have the euro, the Bund up on another screen too. It's just so thin at the moment. It's very spiky, and it changes direction really fast. And if I would be scalping this one, I'm surely not fast enough. So I think if I would need to participate, then I would need a 10 to 15 tick stop, and that's really not how I want to trade it. So that's my focus on the bonds too during the Euro session here. Still confident here. It could also be a, how to say, just a blowout of finding some liquidity they can sell it to in order to bid it back up again over this area and blow new highs. That's also a very well played scenario I see sometimes. But yeah, still, if this was to move heavily, I would really consider getting out. This is a, I would like to see some clear out the levels. We saw print down here of 700,000 down here. It could be a temporary bottom, but still I don't see any follow through from the buyers. There's really not enough printing up. I would like to see if there was really buying going on. I would like to see the bids refresh here, 80, 83, and I want to see them begin to tag into the 77s here and really reload their bids all the time. Just press buy, 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 and try to squeeze out all the shorts here. And but still, it's as I mentioned, it's summer, so it could be that if it begins to go, people will have the buy stop orders sitting maybe over the 80, 82 area here to lift the market pretty fast. And as you can see, it begins to go a little bit, and as I remember beginning to think about liquidating this position I have over here. Still, I'm watching the 5 and the 30 year too, and we got some sellers sitting up here and at this area here. So still in the trade. And of course, what I want to see or speculating in is that they would push this down to new lows in order to dig in for liquidity down here. There's someone sitting, at least for now, with a 700 lots here, 600 here, and of course, most of the times when we get down here, it's spoofing orders. They are just sitting there in order to people believe that there is actually contracts sitting down here. But these are the, how to say, places where you really can scalp out your fast 10 to 15 ticks in a very short time. So now the offer begins to pull off here a bit. It's like nothing really going on, and 2 here over in the Bund. It's pretty damn slow. Still see the bidders leaving the table here, and someone got cleared out there. 124. They begin to attack the 35s. This 04s here. Maybe they would go for the evens. Who knows? They could also blow down the whole bottom. You never know. And this is still holding on. Now I'm hovering my mouse here. I want to see those 74s get taken out now. I really want to. There's might be liquidity sitting down here at this thin volume spot here, and of course under the bottom here. And it still looks good. The offers are there. There's someone at least spoofing the market in order to hold it down a bit. You see down there we got a bit of someone selling into a buyer down here, a bit of refresh. But still it isn't really moving. If I would really like to see someone really holding it up here and try to buy next level and next level again, and then I would definitely get out. You see, it's very, very computerized here. It's like at once there's 3,000 contracts sitting, and when they get down to the price, they immediately pull their bid. It's going so fast. And let me just watch here. Still, we're trying to hold it down. It goes a bit Someone's trying to make it look a bit stronger than this now over here. But this is definitely not a spot where I want to buy the thing at the moment. Now we see over here, this is someone liquidating, and I was really, you see it begins to get thin, that prices jump around a bit, and we see it over here, they begin to attack the 77s again, and yeah, I went out. And this turned out to be a temporary button. So this is the way you can, I would say, utilize the order flows. You can see when prices are building up to make something, and it actually, how to say, turns over before you can see it on your chart. So these are advantages of using this stuff if you put your hours into it. Anyway, let's go over to the next one. This is very much more exciting. This a bit later in the day. That was actually directly after the open, in as I remember, in the US session, and I was really waiting for price to get up to these levels again in order to hold it down. There was a lot of contracts trading up here, and this is what you are looking for. Some you need to find the spots where you can see heavy action, and you need to participate in that action, either to the long or the short side. I'll just scroll over a bit more, and I will tell you when it gets interesting. When I see some heavy bidders, heavy offers at battling between two prices, that's what we want to see. So now we see here we got someone trying to bid this up, the market up, and someone trying to sell it. In particular, it's those two levels here, and I was thinking, okay, if I need to participate here, I would need my stop for the safety stop up around here at 75, 70 maybe. It doesn't mean I would let it get triggered. If I, for instance, have it up here and someone is buying it heavily, like slamming 3,000 contracts here and 3,000 at the next one, I would immediately get out if I have the time to do it. So still, I'm just watching here, watching what is going on, and it's like they're both sitting here at the bid and at the offer. It's and I am really eager to short it here, but still I see that the bid is building up too, and someone is removing a bit of contracts here, and it's not like if I see this number begin to if they begin to dig into the offer and this just reloads heavily, I would really still be to the short side. I just want to see some action where I can see someone showing their hand a bit. I'm watching the third year 2 over here. They are sitting in this area here with a lot of contracts traded. Doesn't mean they want to short it. It could also be someone building a position up here in order to go to the long side. But still, I'm watching. I'm purely focused on this area at the moment. Yeah, and I also had the Bund up here too. There was a gap sitting down here, where they have tried to fill it the whole day, And these are some of the plays you can take advantage of too, when trading these products, also in every other market. Sometimes they get filled, sometimes they don't. They just leave the table and fly in one direction. You really never know. You have to be there and see how it unfolds. But still, I'm sitting here watching it scroll forward a bit. It's pretty slow here. So now it's beginning to get a bit more interesting. Yeah, I'm still watching here. What I want to see now is the if it's weak, I want to see the bid leave the building. And as we can see over in the third year here, there's really not much buying anticipation going on here. It's when they get up here, all the bidders leave the table. It's pretty easy to spot. But this monster over here is a bit of another beast. It's, yeah, they are reloading offers bids pretty heavily, very fast, and that's not I trade it sometimes, but only if I see some action like this going on too here. I have my mouse ready here. I want to see the bidders when it comes down to the 50 area here. I want to see them leave, and if they leave, I will definitely hit it. Now you see we had like 1300 sitting here. And I can also be, how to say, long-minded by it. I really am not in terms of the trend and all the interest rate stuff going on. I watch that heavily and follow all the news there. And sometimes it's a waste of time, but sometimes you are. It's pretty good to follow sometimes. You just need to be aware of what's going on in general. I know it's fundamental stuff, but it really people's beliefs that drives the market. So yeah. Anyway, you see when we get down here again, they begin to leave the table a bit. Of course, the ideal scenario would be to see someone sell 500 contracts here immediately. We see the 5 euro here, 860 traded here. We begin to see someone attacking these levels here. That's interesting. A lot of reloading here. Someone selling down to a guy buying here, and maybe multiple guys. So this is the ES, mean S&P 500. It's a bit of another beast to deal with in these slow times. I think it's much more easier to read, but during, I'll say, normal circumstances, it's a monster. It is, and it's not. It seems like people want to get filled at an area of prices in a row. So I can't really rely on anything over here. Maybe I'm not good enough yet to look what's going on, though I trade it sometimes. Anyway, back to the 10-year here. I'm really looking at it, looking for the spot. So now we see they add contracts here. It's not really heavy amount, but they do. Still kind of a two-way action. Not sure what's going on yet. Looking at it, they begin to pull some offers here, and as the action was happening here, it just dies out, and I don't like to see that. So I'm just watching these 5 markets, and the bubble and the shots too on another screen. So different, really 7 markets in a row. I was trying to get a feel for every one of them. Okay, I will scroll on a bit here and see if we can begin to see something. So now we see on the 10 year, I'm basically watching these levels here, 55s and the halves. That's what I'm really interested in. This is where the action is happening. It doesn't happen, there's nothing going on down here and nothing going on in the 60s. It's these two prices where things are playing out at the moment. Still, I am not seeing anyone pulling the offer away here. If someone was really eager to buy this, they would clear out this level and they would take out the next one in a snap. So, but they don't. And here too, you can see it again. They just leave the table when it is in this area. No one wants to buy the 11s up here. Even the 10s pretty hard. So I'm still short-minded only. Now we see a little bit of action going on over here. Maybe I was also waiting for some news. I just heard a beep in my headset here, so that was probably some news I was waiting for too. So as you see how they sell into a buyer down here. Now I'm really watching this really closely. 2 prices only this little area here I'm watching. That got short. You see, nothing, they didn't build it up. Over 5,000 contracts sitting here at the offer now. And that's the scenario we want to be in. Bang, 5,000 hits down into the halves here. And now I want you to just stop the video a bit. So you see all these prints we had down here when people were buying it or covering the short position earlier. Sometimes I remove all the prints via this bin here symbol, and I release you 2 up here. I was watching thinking maybe they would close the gap here in the Bund, and I was watching this to blow out the bottom 2, but I didn't really pay attention to that this was old prints that was sitting down here. So I was thinking when I exited that someone was covering a lot of positions here, so I get out too, and that was just, yeah, when you're in the heat, better get out with 6 in the bank than losing a lot of them. So see, it's slow market still. It's being offered down. Bids are leaving. It's slow, but it's still okay action to be in, as I think. Yes, you have my mouse out here. I was kind of thinking whether I should. I'm always, how to say, hovering over it. If price jumps back, I would try to get out in an area over the top here. I won't wait for it to reach these tops. That's now not how these products should be played. Fast in, fast out, sometimes, and sometimes I was actually thinking of making a swing on this one in order to gain like at least 10 ticks on this one. It just depends on the scenario really, or the time frame. You see the daily now, it's I look at it or the 24-hour candles. I look at them to see how price responded all over the day, in general. can see every time we begin to go down to a new level, they just pull up bits, and that's what we like to see. You see, like over 600 was sitting there at the offer over here, and that's just good confirmation when you're already in. You just need to spot where if someone is leaving the table or liquidating, you should really be doing the same. You can always get in again. But I'll try to forward a little bit here. It's pretty slow. When it gets interesting, I will tell it again. It's not really. There was some news again. Maybe it's some. Okay, it might be news from today I'm listening to. But anyway, as this goes down, I'm watching all the markets here. The bubble too, but that really doesn't matter. It tends to that the bunds move first and the bubble after that. At least for now, it's the leader at the moment. What? Let me see here. Just forward a bit. Again, we see someone attacking those levels. It's not nice price action. The ideal scenario would be see them like clear out 3000 at each level and just smack it down pretty heavily. Yeah, I was really, I've lost my patience at this moment. I could see the tick back to 45 and get down again, but I was just thinking if it wasn't going to move, it would not do it at all. The interesting here in the Bund is the 68 area. You can see there's 800 sitting, and for me that's really just pause at the moment. It's really not the times where you would be sitting down here with these guys. You won't have a limit order here, believe me. This is the times where they blow out the bottoms and it just rallies very quickly. So in terms of how to say, if you're talking iceberg orders and that kind of stuff, that's what's going on up here. When we have a push down, a little push up again, and they just reload their offers here, and someone is buying into them, but they're just holding it down. So you won't be joining down here if you were to participate. I mean, you are too late here on the roller coaster. You just have to sit it out and watch for a play again. But this is interesting. I was watching them. You can see there, hovering my mouse. It is not. I just do that in order to see what's going on in my head. And now I was actually thinking. I was watching this and thinking, oh my God, someone just liquidated 2000s here. But they didn't. That was the old prints I had, and I wish I had just cleared it out. Again, that happens sometimes, right? If it was to go, I would like to see again some momentum, and it's summer. It's gone at the moment. So these are just sitting down there, and I was really watching whether they would leave the table. If 69s were to get tagged now, I would anticipate they would leave it. If they didn't leave it, it would just blow down. Yeah, I'm watching the 5-year down here. We have a very steep profile here where there may be some liquidity sitting down here, those 27s. You see, I focused to get out here because I thought those were real prints. Again, still some ticks in the bank, and that's what we are aiming for all day long. 4 ticks here, 4 ticks there, 16, 10 ticks, you never know. You just have to ride it out for whatever it's worth. Try to see what happens here. Of course, someone has to, how to say, attack this level. Bang. just blow the new stops taken out. Yeah, so basically that was pretty much it. Soon I'm going on vacation too, leaving the markets for around a month here in August. It's too slow, nothing happens. I won't. Actually, there's a lot of things happening, but I will participate when there is size coming in. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you very much.